Hello vloggies, and welcome back to the Vloggity. Today is Sunday, November 20th, 2011. Let's get into a quote. I almost forget that sometimes. I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple things I did last night. Went shopping with my wife and one of our friends and my youngest daughter. My oldest daughter was staying with the grandparents. The Nano update, I did do some writing yesterday. It was in the van on the way back from the shopping trip, so I didn't get a whole lot written. I'm slipping up, I know. I'm going to keep trying and keep working at writing. I take my laptop with me. I took it with me yesterday when we did our Thanksgiving dinner, and I wrote a little bit while I was there, but I didn't want to ignore everybody. I did some reading and things like that, try to get in some conversation with them too. You know how family get-togethers are. You gotta pay some attention to them. I probably should have paid more attention to them though, because I was reading a bit too. I tend to do that. Shopping. We went to a lot of different stores. So we went to the Disney store, and I got a couple things for myself. Anyone recognize this little fella? It's Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Burb. There's Phineas.
I see you've carved it out with dynamite. Nice.
Nice. I am a child at heart. I went to Books A Million, and of course I have to go to a bookstore anytime there is one nearby. So some of the things I got, or you may recognize these. These are Bucky Balls. Yep, and you can make all kinds of things with these. Fold them over, and it comes with cubes and everything else. Right here, see some of the things that you can do with them. This has instructions. Oh, upside down. This has 125 of these little single magnet balls, earth magnets, and they're polarized. They repel at one end and attract at the other end. So there are lots and lots of things that you can do with these, and they're just fun to mess around with. Another thing I got was writing and selling your memoir. I do have an idea for a memoir that I would like to write. If I wrote it, would anyone read it? That's the question. Most people don't know much of anything about my life. They may know some of the big basic things that go on, but the memoir I'm looking to write is more about somewhat of the darker side. A lot about death and dying, and my experiences with that. Not personal experiences with that, but not like me dying, but people in my family, friends, things like that. So I'll talk about things like that in that book when I write it. I've got an outline started for it. Another book that I got, you immediately know who it is. I don't even have to show that to most of you. If you are part of Nerdfight Terror, you know just by seeing this right here. This is John Green's book, Looking for Alaska. He won the Prinze Medal for it. Very good writer. I've already pre-ordered his The Falt in Our Srars, or TFiOS as it's going to be called. Pre-ordered that a while ago. But he finished signing 150,000 copies of the first entire printing, so everyone could get a signed copy. There's no such thing as an unsigned copy of the first printing of The Falt in Our Srars. Some of them are Yeti'd by his wife, some of them are Hanklerfished by his brother, Hank Green. I'm the Vlogbrothers, so you can go and check out their channel. I'll put a link to that. A limited audiobook box set will be shipping out, I think around January 10th, John said. There are only 3,000 copies. There have been so many people wanting him to read his book as an audiobook. So he worked out with his publisher. They're going to do an audiobook, but they have a professional reader that's going to do that. But because so many people wanted himself to read it, where he's done his, reading the first chapter of it, they want him to read it. He has said that he's going to do the limited one-time ever run of 3,000 copies, and once they're sold out, they're sold out. I've already pre-ordered mine. I did that yesterday. That has 6 audio CDs in it of him reading The Falt in Our Srars. It has postcards, yes. There are a few other things, but I think it'll be really interesting. be able to listen to him read his own book is really interesting. He said he thought it was creepy because the narrator of the story, the main character, is a 16-year-old girl, and he's a 34-year-old man, and he would be reading as a 16-year-old girl. When I was in Books A Million, I went in probably about 10 or 15 minutes till 9. I didn't leave until probably about 9:30, which I left early because my wife sent me a message and said she was staying outside the door waiting. But when I went to go meet her, the gates were closed. I didn't know that they had closed off the gates to the rest of the mall. So they couldn't get in and I couldn't get out that way. They did have a door in the back, by the second set of registers. So I got out the back and I had to wait for him to drive all the way around the mall to come and get me. But I had my Bucky Balls to keep me busy. What do you think about memoirs? Can anyone make their life story interesting? Do you think, could you write a memoir yourself about your life? Has there been a period of time in your life that you could write an interesting story about? What is interesting to you? So leave a comment below. Go to myNeedyNation.com. We're still doing the donations for Needy Family for this Christmas, and since it's only November 20th, we have about a month left to go, and we're going to have about, I'd say, $150 or so for the family. But if you think about $150, trying to do something really, something nice for this family that we're going to choose, $150 doesn't usually go a really long way. This video is really long. I'm going to cut it short. I will talk to you all tomorrow after the quote. Alright. Tomorrow.